It's probably time to introduce. Okay, we have Ron Fellows in the house, everybody. Ron is, and I know I can say, favorite Corvette race driver ever, of all time. It's not even close. No, Ron is a fantastic guy. Did us proud for many, many years. You guys know him as a superlative driver, but also as just an all-around great guy. We've maintained our connection now through the Ron Fellows Driving School out in Nevada, and we encourage anybody who has the opportunity to get out there. It's a fantastic experience. Beyond even what you learn on the track. It's just a great kind of once-in-a-lifetime experience, but go as many times as you can afford and have time to do. So, thank you guys. Harlan and I will be around really all day watching the race or hanging around the corral, somewhere around. So if you have other questions, if you want to show us your car or whatever, be happy to do it. So, Ron?
Thanks, Taj. So I missed the part about the Z06X. When can I get one? No, but I bet the owner at Spring Mountain would love to have a couple. Yes, yes, perfect. Sorry while I drool on this a little bit. How's everybody? Ready to start another season? Awesome, yes. 13, I believe this is number 13 and lucky 13, we hope, the American Le Mans Series. As you can see by the grid, we have, I believe it's 52 cars starting the race today, which is a massive increase in grid. There's 23 GT cars. The number 4 is P2, which is, I think they're as surprised as everybody else that they were close to the new 458 Ferrari. Olivier was in the number 3, and generally qualifying, you've got about 5 laps that boost the tire pressures a little bit and try to get that one lap is about lap 3 or 4. There's one sweet spot really in the tires to get that ultimate lap, and Olivier missed it with some traffic, so he ended up at 8th. So I know he was a little disappointed, but he'll be just fine. It's a long race. I do have a certificate for a 3-day school, which we will raffle off. So come back tomorrow, we'll raffle it off. What I thought I'd do is I'd talk a little bit about, I stole this from the pits. Literally stole it from the pits. This isn't off one of the cars. It is their backup, the only backup. So there's only one other guy that knows I have it here. But this is the new steering wheel, and you can see the paddle shifts on the back. That's the new rules with going to paddle shifts, and the steering wheel is very Formula One like with nothing but buttons. Now for us older race car drivers, we just wouldn't work. I'd like to get a bifocal installed on my visor, please. It says what? Oh, pit. Right. This is really the control. This is now the control center for the driver, and we've got everything on the left side. Top left, it's radio. It's green, which is kind of odd. It's the drink button. Green. Okay. There's an alarm. There's engine stop. That's pretty obvious. So when they come into the pits, it's essentially just hit the button as they come to a stop, and then there's also a wiper. It's electronic for switching to reverse, and they have the night lights, followed by the dimmer switch. Dimmer. There's also a power steering control. You can adjust essentially the resistance in the power steering to suit each driver. There's about 5 different settings, so you can make it easier or harder. The reason you have that adjustment is, again, sometimes you'll get to a track, Le Mans for instance, you want to have a little bit more resistance. The last thing you want to be able to do is turn the wheel just a little too much and all those high-speed corners. So having a little bit more resistance in the wheel is a good thing. Just got to make sure we hit the right switch. There's obviously a map, which is different pages. Traction control is on here. There's a neutral switch to hit the neutral with the paddles. And the air conditioning. Fortunately, they did get that system before I stopped. And then there's a fuel button, and you scroll. There's 5 pages on the dash. There's a small dash that just sits in the front of it, and then obviously the top right, the 2 top buttons are kind of the most critical. So we've got a pit speed and the flash for flashing lights for traffic. This is really something. I hope they work. Yes. If you see a pit stop and a steering wheel being flung out and there's a long delay, you know Ron didn't make it back with the spare wheel. Not a good thing. I was talking to Yan about the paddle shifting, and the first thing I thought, for so many years, and a lot of it is, it's not unlike any athletic endeavor where there's a lot of muscle memory involved. And first thing I thought of when I looked at the wheel and the not taking your hands off the wheel was, I think I'd need my right hand initially taped to the steering wheel, because every time I want to go shift, I want to reach for the shifter. So if you just tape it on there, I'll remember that I'll just pull this to upshift. But there's the electronics on this year's car are just incredible. There's some pretty trick stuff that they're able to do. You can hit the pit speed button before you actually get to pit lane. And what happens is, as soon as you get to first gear, you've got to make sure that you get slightly below pit speed, but it won't engage until you're in first gear and you're down close to pit road speed. Then it engages, and the same thing on the way out. What you can do on the way out is, rather than have to, as you get to the line that designates the end of pit lane, it can begin to accelerate. Rather than have to hit the button, just pull second gear, and that disengages it. And it's enough RPM to be able, just boom. Again, you get your hand taped to the wheel, pull second gear, and get on the gas and go. So anyway, I just thought I'd bring this because I thought this was just the coolest thing. And only one other guy knows I have it. Yes, sir. Let me get my glasses on and check. PTF, yes. Yeah, no. I'm sure we're not too far behind that, though. Yes, please post it. Yeah, it would be more like a video conference message or something. Camera pointed at the driver, followed by exclamation and cursing. But anyway, I think the race today, this is likely, I may have said this before, but for sure, this is likely the most competitive it has ever been in the history, certainly for Corvette, in terms of the numbers. You've got the number of manufacturers, you've got Porsche, you've got BMW, all, and obviously the multiple of Ferraris. There's the new Panos is an interesting car. Yeah. Boy, Don. There's an Aston Martin. So there's the full grid of cars, and which we haven't seen in ALMS in a class in a long time. So it's ultra competitive. It's going to be with 52 cars. I'm trying to think if we've ever had that many cars here before. Probably in the high 40s, but you're going to see some cautions with a lot of the new rules in terms of the restrictors. Even the prototypes outside of the Peugeot, but even the Audi guys are complaining about not having enough straight line speed to really deal with the traffic. There isn't as big a separation between some of the prototypes and the GT class cars that there used to be. So it's that usually means there's going to be some contact. So there might be some cautions, and hopefully at the end the boys will be fine. So pit window, you can go about 28 laps on a tank of fuel for those who are counting and staying in touch. Driver sequence, I believe, is the 3 cars: Olivier, and then Tommy, and then Antonio, and 4 car will be Oliver, Yan, and Richard. So, just so you know. Any questions? Not me, no. Got a problem seeing this thing, so. I do have my bifocals. Yes?
Do you use any special skills or techniques deal with to judge the closing speed on traffic coming up behind you?
Any special technique? What we've got, it's happened probably in the last half dozen years, which has been really helpful, is if you get a chance to go down to the pits and see the setup they've got down there. They've got multiple monitors that cover all the corners, most of the corners, particularly for the American Le Mans Series races. The guys are able to get access to all the camera feed, and essentially Dan Banks on the 3 car and Brian Hoy on the 4 car act like spotters, because we don't have the center rearview mirror is useless because of the rules. Make sure that and it's Corvette, not Porsche, but the Corvette, you can't have a window at the rear firewall, so it's completely sealed up. So we've got side mirrors, and it's difficult to see prototypes. And again, you're pretty focused up front, but you can when you can see them, it's not that difficult to judge as they're coming up. But we get a lot of help from the guys in the pits that are able to. The kind of messages you're going to hear are, Audi coming. They'll say 4 back, which is 4 seconds, which means he's going to catch you in no time, generally. And that's been a great help. It's a little bit more difficult at Le Mans because we don't have the same sort of access to the TV feed. There is some, but it's not quite the same. And again, a 9-mile lap is pretty difficult. But again, at Le Mans with the long straightaways, you get a chance to be able to get a little bit better look. Danny Banks also developed a camera that points out the rear bumper, and it's a small screen that looks like a rear view mirror. It's a little bit smaller, but you can see anything, particularly in a long straightaway at Le Mans. It's really helpful. You can see a long way back with that. It's not as, you get a lot of yellow light at night, but during the day it works good. Yes, sir. Sorry, you missed that, sir. I think the guys have just taken to it pretty quick because it's just that much easier. When the left side is for downshifting, and what the guys were saying is how much more effective they can be on the brake pedal. No longer do you have to flip the throttle as you're downshifting, because as you click down, it does it for you. So your foot is 100% concentrated on the brake pedal, and you can just focus on the braking. And it's just made it. I wish they'd got this just a few more years earlier, but it's just getting way too easy to drive now. But that's probably the biggest difference is you're really able to focus on the stopping, and your hands never leave the wheel. But the upshifting is on the right, and does not leave the wheel. Any other questions? Yes.
What's your driving schedule for this year?
What's my driving schedule this year? Well, tonight we'll be driving back to Orlando. We actually ended up driving down from Toronto in our family Escalade. Our boys are in hockey. Imagine that, Canadians. They're in the playoffs, and we couldn't book any plane tickets because the playoff schedule was changing sort of every couple of days. So we ended up leaving on Monday, and drove down. So it's about 22 hours. It's okay. This Escalade's got like 5 TVs in it. It's awesome. Great for road trips. You're talking about racing, right? Yeah. Retired guys get off on a tangent. Sorry. I will likely do a few of the NASCAR road races again. The last few years I've done the Nationwide Series road races with Dale Jr.'s team, and this year, not sure. I'm hoping that can come together. The difficulty is there's 3 nationwide road races, and you kind of want to have some consistency in running all 3. And it's a conflict right now. They have the 88 has got a full-time driver. The last couple of years it was a part-time effort. It was a full-time effort, but a number of different drivers. Dale Jr. did some. I did the road races. And this year, Eric Almirola is in the 88 full-time, and some girl. She's in the 7 car. Sorry, I'm just seeing if you're paying attention. Yes, Danica Patrick is in the 7 car for 16 races, and I'm not sure who's doing some of the others, but she wants to do Montreal. Originally it was, I was going to do Road America, Watkins Glen, and Montreal. Now she wants to do Montreal, so I'm not sure. They're trying to figure out if we do a 3rd car for Montreal only, or if I can't do that with Dale Jr.'s team, I'm probably going to have to look for a different deal, because I'd like to do all 3 with the same team. Cup maybe with Tommy Baldwin again with a little bit better effort. We'll see, but that's kind of it. I don't think we'll do any World Challenge. We did a few last year, which was kind of fun. We wouldn't want to beat those Cadillacs with a Corvette, would we? That's kind of it. Yeah, we'll be at majority of the ALMS races and giving away school, so make sure you're here tomorrow.
Are you saying there will not be the 3rd Cadillac occasionally?
Sure, I'll do that. I'm sure they're going to build a 3rd car just in case one of them gets damaged. But I have that nothing's. But I'll put my name on the list. Yes, I'd love to do that. It's a beautiful car, and for those of you Florida residents, be sure to go check those cars out next weekend at St. Pete. Any other questions? Yes. Paddle shifts is the driving school. Hey, yeah. Ron went out the front gate about 9:30 this morning with the steering wheel. It'll be interesting to see where the technology goes when it heads to on the production side. 430 Ferrari was sort of the first one to have a true, I think, true working paddle shift system where it was very similar to the racing transmission. But Taj and Harlan would be the guys to ask. But it just be way too easy. At the driving school, what we do spend a lot of time on is the footwork and shifting. And the footwork would ultimately would still be very critical, and that's a big focus. Footwork when you're if you ever watch a NASCAR road race, they get into trouble corner approach. So we spend a lot of time at the school working on not only some basic car control, but making sure that your corner approach is under control, and you understand the steps to what you need to be doing with your hands and your feet and your eyes to make sure that you're able to get to the corner, do a good job through it, and enjoy the car. If you're arriving at the corner still trying to get the car slowed down, still trying to go from the gear you have to the gear you need, it's not going to work, and it get yourself into trouble. So come on down. Spring Mountain Motorsports Ranch. Actually, it's now called Motor Resort. Yes. I don't know if you've seen the upgrades there, but yes. Condominiums and anyway. So yes, I see. Amy is ready to do the raffle, so we'll give away the school. Slot machines with the paddle shift. You must be from Nevada. Yes. Thank you. That's very cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, that was obviously a huge honor, and was pleasantly surprised to hear about that, and we're certainly going to be there for Thursday. I believe it's Thursday, September the 2nd, for the dinner and induction. Very, very cool. Very very pleased. We'll be there, whole family. So it'll be obviously a big day for the Fellows family. Just very cool. Thank you. Okay, Amy. Oh, did you? Office Depot. 702-009. 702-009. I'm sorry, we only do one draw. See ya. This is valued at $36.95, which is, I think, 3,500 Canadian now. Yeah, that's usually 702-158. 702-158. Harlan Charles, there we go. Yeah, your wallet, Mark. 701-945. 701-945. We have a winner. Anyway, enjoy the race today, guys. Thanks all for coming. We all appreciate you guys coming out to support us, and enjoy the day.